Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. What we have today is a 2014 Nissan Qashqai. At this point in time, I can't tell you whether it's 1.5, 1.6 or what it might be. Suggesting 1.5 because it drives fairly badly, but then it drives fairly badly because there's probably something wrong with the car. Customers complained. My stink. Looking at myself in the mirror to see my stink. Customers complained that when she's driving it, she says it's doing kind of a on the rev counter. So that to me initially said, am we getting maybe a clutch that's slipping or something along those lines? Took it off for a drive, and after I took it for a drive, it was down on power. It just seemed a bit sluggish, but the clutch and all that felt good. And I then went along, contacted the customer, said to him, what exactly is happening? What she said was, when you go for a longer drive on a kind of a motorway or holding at 1500 RPM, it just kind of is hesitating or misfiring or something. And at that stage then the rev counter or the throttle was kind of fluctuating a little bit, again still with no big major power. Now what I done was I got a couple of live data PIDs. I have done a code scan, no faults in there, engine management was happy, and at that stage I said I look at a bit of live data, just trying to be comprehensive for this lady. So where I've got, sorry about the glare, I just looked at maybe intake temperature, turbo pressure, boost pressure, engine speed, measured airflow, rail pressure, set rail pressure, intake flap, absolute position seemed to fail, soot content of the DPF, intake flap. What I don't have in here on the Autel, I have to say on Nissans, it's not savagely good. I don't have exhaust differential pressure. What else does it? Exhaust, what would you call it? Exhaust pressure sensor A that fail on these a lot. The one like on a Mazda is only on a Renault. I think I have a video on around scenic one of these where I was able to pinpoint a pipe being blocked in this thing. But I was looking up complaints, that's the best ones that I had. What I did notice and or recognize when I'm looking at airflow. When I was looking at airflow, it's actually higher here. So measured airflow, 32 kilograms of air per hour. Thought that was lower earlier on. I went for a drive and lo and behold, we have a check engine light on now, but I'm starting the video as I got to see the car. So at 1000 RPM, I was seeing 40 kilograms of air per hour. We'll go up at 2000 RPM. In theory we should be double it. Not a million miles away from double it. I'm gonna drive it, but by driving it, what I'm gonna get is, let's see now. I was looking at my live data a little bit earlier, and I thought when I was driving my numbers were, so we stopped at 2000 RPM. It's actually not too bad there now. 115 was it there? It was a little bit hard to catch that while driving. Maybe I should freeze the information. I might go back up the road, only a little short drive. I'm going to go back up the road. I'm going to hold it at 2000 RPM up the road and just look. But when I was driving, I thought I actually saw my airflow at 200 kilograms. Right now we're at freeze. Okay. It's all happening out on the road side here. I went off for my test drive, and by the time I got back, the garage gates were closed and my keys were locked in. Okay. Suggesting that somewhere around, we'll go back actually, previous frame. So what I'm looking at is this. We're seeing that kind of, there's our idle. So that number right there, okay? So can I get my finger back on my, suggesting that that's coming up around there. Okay, right, but it's not really doing it at this point in time. But I thought when I was driving it, I looked and I thought, when I had this little hesitation thing, a little bit down on power, no check engine light on, I thought I had higher air than what I believed I should have. So 40 kilograms of air at 1,000 RPM, should have double it. I thought I was seeing 200, so if I've seen 200, it was like 5 times the amount of air at 2,000 RPM, which I thought was kind of queer. But that may have happened due to going into limp mode and that check engine light coming on, okay? We're going to get back out of this, okay? Resume. Back. We'll get a look and see what this fault code is. What has brought on our check engine light now. This could be a waste of time of a video. Okay, I did have that there. That clutch switch was in there. Didn't pay any attention to it. This one here, boost pressure circuit 2. I actually don't know. Maybe some of you can say, what does that DEF mean? Diesel electronic fuel injection or something? I don't actually know. Okay, so I think we're looking at, right now we're down on boost. That I knew, and that I kind of know and I feel. I can't prove DPF pressures, but it is down. We'll do a visual underneath the bonnet and just see. I know it's all running concurrently. I'm not snapping. I'm not pressing the stop button. 1 minute. Let's see. Yeah. Not making much of a video now. I don't think so, yeah. 1 second. Okay, I'd say what was happening is, first visual I'm at to do underneath the bonnet, do my test drive and scan tool work stuff. What I'm suggesting at this point in time is that was starting to brake, and then lo and behold, when I drove it and drove it a bit harder, I broke that. Okay, the reason my numbers were going to be higher than expected then, hadn't triggered a fault, wasn't in limp home mode, and because it wasn't in limp home mode, turbo was spooling, turbo was stuffing air out. I think I've said this in other videos, and the amount of air that was getting in past the airflow meter, in around by the turbo, back out, back up, back around, is because I had a small leak here. Engine wasn't registering the fault, and the minute I drove it on a bit further, harder, whatever it may be, than the customer, this thing registered a fault, it's gone into limp mode and is now ignored. That's why I had my big high numbers where I was. Okay, that's 7 minutes of me not shutting up, I suppose we're going to call it, is it? That's quite simple, okay? Happy days. I'm not even going to try and repair that. I'd say we'll just pinpoint and try and price up one to replace it, and we'll move forward from there, okay? Simple enough, easy enough one. Maybe this one wasn't worth the video. Hey ho, I just start recording, and when I start recording, I get a gut, and here we are. This is not a great video, but anyway, look, for someone, or for the masses, it might be good. Okay guys, I've just been talking to the customer, and they said they're under pressure. This thing is not in stock, and I could get it in a day, well, too late in the evening to get it for tomorrow, so get it in a day and a half, 2 days. But we're making an executive decision because she needs the car. I'm going to take this thing off. I have pretty good super epoxy that I could put around the whole thing. I could drill a couple of holes in it, so I'm going to pull off this thing. I'm going to do a repair job on it. I have just made a little mark that coincides with that thing just to line up, so it's there, and I'm going to do a repair thing on this little screwdriver in here, pop out that clip, 10, a little size 7 or a flat screwdriver, then I'll just get a bit of plastic housing off it and do a repair job on it. Okay guys, we've pulled off a little bit of a pipe, both ends of it. What I'm going to do, I'm just using a bit of brake cleaner. I'm going to clean it down first. What my mindset is, I'm going to use super glue and I'm going to stick it on where it should be to start with. Maybe I should put it on this stuff. Nah, we'll just go, for now we'll go with the super glue. Stick it on here to start with, and then I'm going to drill holes all the way around on both sides when it's in the right position and held together, and I'm going to cover the whole full outside of it with this stuff, epoxy or top part, power weld, whatever I have around there, okay? And we'll do a repair on it and get it on the car, just get the girl on the road again. Okay guys, I have a little ring of super glue there, and I am actually going to stick this together. Once it's stuck together, then we'll start the repair process. Okay guys, here's where we're at. I'm after sticking the nose onto it. And I don't know if you can see where my little homemade marks were. So that there, they're probably not really in line on either one. So the keys were in my pocket when I was locked outside. When I stuck it together with the super glue, you can see where I'm after, can you see? I'm after actually drilling holes through, which you can see internally. So what I'm hoping to do or wanting is that this stuff is going to go in a layer of it around here, grab into the holes on each side of it, and I might try and get a layer around the inside also. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start going. This is, as I said there, it's just super epoxy. You get this in any hardware store or anything. It doesn't have to be top part stuff. It's just that I find this very good and very strong, and you can nearly drill it and trade it if you needed to. So that's what I'm using in this case. But any kind of super epoxy will do this repair. Okay, a few moments later. It might look wicked pretty, but it's going to be strong. So I've put a big build up of it all the way around, in through my holes. Also inside I put a layer of it, but what I'm after realising is I can't put it at the closest side. I don't want to point my finger at it there now, but just in that little lip that's just inside the green seal where I have my holes, I don't need or want or will not put a layer of it in there, because that might be needed for the intercooler pipe bit or whatever aluminium bit that slides into it. So now look, that's sitting fully around it in theory like a big solid plastic ring. So I'm hoping that is going to be solid enough for this thing at least to get a couple of days, weeks. You know, the normal crack, everyone be getting rid of their car, they're trading it in, they're selling it, they're doing something with it. So this might be a permanent fix, or I don't think, with it being a full solid circle, there's no openings in it, so it can't do that. The structure is in the strength of it is in the continuity of it, and we have all these little legs popping in the way. So I'm suggesting that this should be the finest and hold for a while. Get out on the road and just see. Proof's in the pudding, I suppose. With a little fast drive, but time is really the proof. So we'll know in 3 weeks or whatever, if she comes back to me or whatever, I don't know, but in theory anyway, we'll know in over time. Okay guys, bits and pieces reinstated, duplicate on our repair. They are not looking quite so bad. That definitely won't break. Now I don't know, I'm going to give the woman the advice that it's temporary but potentially could last permanently, because it's no different than what was in there day one. It was like the two surfaces were kind of melted together, heated and stuck together or some crack like that. So I'm suggesting that stuff with the grab that it has with the little holes that drill is going to be 100%. And yeah, fault codes. What are we going to do? We'll put up a little I suppose I'll put up that fault code as a direction on what could be wrong here. You'll potentially see little bits of oil mark I saw around where the rocker cover was sitting close to that thing. So for now, I think I'm done. I'm happy enough to call this a fix. I'm going to give it a drive just to make sure. I have to get rid of fault codes and potentially just give it a run up the road just to see. What are the pointers here? There is no real pointers. It's probably not a great video. It's too easy, to be honest with you. Everyone could nearly visually see it just by just by pulling the bonnet and looking in there. I had no check engine light on, so that was the starting point for me when I started driving this car. Then when I drove it, I was going to use them high numbers. I saw the high airflow numbers when I was giving it wide open throttle as a pointer to what we were going to go after. Probably even thinking that it could have been something deleted out of this thing, or some wrong information we were getting from a scan tool. But long and short of it is, check engine light came on when I was driving it before I got back here. So for this one, possibly no good to anyone, hopefully good to someone. P2263 turbo under boost, I think, condition on a 2013 Nissan Qashqai. Guys, if any of my hints and tips are any good to you, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in the next cartoon. Peter Kennedy signing out. See you later, boys.